And welcome back to Orange County Sports Talk, everyone. 835-1316, our phone number. If you're a racing fan, auto racing, motocross racing, this will probably interest you because you think of maybe the older and more mature people out there grinding it up with the machines, but our guests right now are living proof that that's not the rule. This may be the exception. Heather Matthews and her mother, Debbie, welcome to Orange County Sports Talk. Welcome. Heather, I want to talk to you first. You're only 8 years old. How'd you get into this sport?
By watching my mom race.
Yeah, your mom used to do it, so when you saw your mom race, did you say to yourself, that's definitely what I want to do?
Yeah, I did.
Really? What about it did you like?
I liked the jumps and stuff.
Debbie, how about it? Did you encourage Heather to get into the sport?
Very much so. I waited for her to show interest in it, and when she showed interest, we knew it was something that she wanted to do, so we decided to let her go for it.
Yeah, but I mean, you did it, so obviously you're aware of the fear factor, but I mean, tennis or golf is one thing, but driving a motor vehicle at about 40 miles an hour isn't your average prescription for an 8-year-old daughter.
Well, we started her off actually at age 2.5.
2.5?
2.5.
On a bike?
On a four-wheel ATV, and it has special features such as a dead man, so that if they get to do something to where you know they're going to be out of control, you can pull it and the bike will roll to a stop.
Right.
And it has a throttle stop so that you can regulate how much throttle to give them. And it gives them a chance to learn the basics without having to worry about balance.
Right.
And then once they get that down and they're confident, then we move them up to what she's on now, which is a Yamaha PW50, and it's a two-wheel motorcycle. And it goes about 30 miles an hour.
Okay, 835-1316 is our phone number if you care to talk motocross racing with Heather and Debbie Matthews. Heather, we're going to look at some tape of you racing, and I want you to tell me what it's like when you're out there. Are you scared, or what are you thinking when you're out there on that bike? See, we're looking at pictures of you. Tell us what that's like.
It's like fun, and sometimes it's scary.
Debbie, when you see her out there, you're a racer or an old racer, and you're still a current racer. When you see her out there, is it yeah, go get him, or is it gosh, I'm a little concerned?
Well, it's yeah, go get him, but because I race, I'm able to watch and ascertain whether the situation is something that could be potentially dangerous or whether it's something that she should just hang it out and go for it. It does give me an advantage in that I am able to tell when there is a danger and when there's not. But she holds her own. She doesn't give these guys any slack.
Okay, now, right here, what we're seeing, tell us about this race, and who is she competing against?
Well, this race here was shot about 2 weeks ago, and this was her first race in Division I, which is the expert class. They got tired of her beating the intermediate boys, so they moved her up to the men's expert class.
So is she the only girl?
Currently, right now, yes, she is.
Okay.
However, the last few weeks, we have started seeing a few more out, so it's pretty exciting.
Heather, how about that competing against the boys? Is that bother you at all?
No.
Not really? You want to show them that a girl can do it, or?
Yeah, I want to show them that a girl can do what a lot of boys can do.
Okay, so you kind of have something to prove out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have goals in this sport? You're only 8 years old. That seems like a silly question to ask an 8-year-old. But are you looking ahead? I mean, do you want to be the best in the world? How do you want to go in this sport, Heather?
Well, I want to try the best I can be to see if I can win and be good.
Right. Well, you're already pretty good, right? I mean, you've already won a number of trophies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When she's out there with the boys, they're on the same size bikes, right? So it's not like that there's a difference weight-wise as far as her getting hurt.
The bikes are identical with slight changes depending on setup. However, she has some advantages in that she weighs less than a lot of the boys she competes with, so she regularly gets what we call a hole shot, which is the lead from the beginning of the race, and then the boys have to chase her.
Right.
To try and to beat her, but she does roll well.
You still compete, right, Debbie?
Yes, I do.
Okay, is this something that a person can do for a career, for a full-time job?
As far as if they're a woman, or?
Yeah.
At this stage, as a full-time job, no. The purses for women are very small.
Right.
And we make most of our money through sponsor endorsements and things along that line. But it's very, very fun, and it is rewarding. She gets to travel around quite a bit and do stadium exhibitions and things like that, and allows her to perform in front of up to 70,000 people.
Yeah.
Which, for an 8-year-old,
that's pretty darn good. Yeah. You're nervous when you see the big crowd, or do you see them out there, or are you just concentrating on racing?
Well, I see them and I'm nervous, but I ride my own race.
You do? So the crowd doesn't affect you?
It doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother you. Okay. We're talking with Heather and Debbie Matthews. Heather's an 8-year-old motocross racer. Our phone number, 835-1316. If you have a question, we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Orange County Sports Talk, everyone. 835-1316, our final moments with the Matthews. Heather and Debbie, this is a helmet, what 8-year-old Heather Matthews wears when she races around the dirt track at about 30 miles an hour. And we have our first phone call from Costa Mesa. Go ahead, you're on with the Matthews.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Pretty good, thanks. What's your question?
Real quick, 2 questions.
Okay.
One, when she puts on her helmet, does she feel intimidated at all, being the only girl out there, or is she the only girl? And 2, where can we see her at?
Okay, the first question they wanted to know, Heather, do you feel scared? We already talked about that a little. Do you feel scared?
Sometimes I do in the stadiums, but I forget about being nervous and scared.
Okay, and you might have to field this question, Mom. Where can they see Heather if we want to go watch her compete?
well, she's going to be competing at the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Championships held at the Los Angeles Coliseum on July 20th.
Okay. Now, you still race. Real quickly about your career. How is it going right now?
Well, it's going pretty well. We had a little setback with an injury, but we're getting stronger and stronger, and it's really starting to come alive. Last month, I won my first race after the injury, so I'm real pleased with the progress.
Okay. Andy from Fountain Valley, you're our next caller. Go ahead.
Yes, my question is it hard to insure a small person as Heather? And my second question is, what type of prize purses are available for that bracket?
Good questions.
Okay.
First thing was insurance for Heather.
Well, the track has insurance for her, and she is covered under our normal health plan, which
Right.
is quite sufficient. She has not ever been hurt.
Okay.
And in the 16 years I've been racing, I've been hurt once.
Really?
So it's very, very safe with the protective equipment that you do have.
Okay. I think his second question was about the purses. How much money? Heather's not competing for money.
Heather is in the amateur classification as of this time, so she does not compete for money. And we like to keep things real, on a real even plane for her as far as to keep it fun. You know, this is for her, and this is to be fun, and all we ask of her is that she gives 100% effort.
Right. Now, when she goes, I guess, will Heather have to learn how to take care of her bike as well? Is being a mechanic part of being a racer? It usually is, right?
Yes, it is. She's already learning things. She washes her bike, she cleans her air filters, some basic things, and she watches when I reassemble her bike, when I put a new top end piston rings and that in it, and so she learns a lot, and I will let her help me put it back together.
And it's a family affair. Every time Heather's out there, is the whole family out there supporting her?
Very much so. Her grandparents come out and watch her, and some of her cousins, and of course her dad and her brother. Her brother's probably her biggest cheerleader.
Is that right, Heather? Now, look, we're looking at some more of you, Heather. I know sometimes we may not see it right here. You fall down. When you fall down or skid out, is that tough? And then how do you get back right up?
Well, if I'm not hurt, I just get on my bike and ride again. But if I'm hurt, I just sometimes stay off the bike until I feel like I'll ride again.
Yeah, sometimes when with all the emotion and your blood running, is it hard to tell whether you're hurt or not?
Well, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't.
Okay. So who has the final decision on that, Mom?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have trainers or ambulances out there? I mean, Are there other precautions besides, I know the equipment is state-of-the-art in safety, to ensure her safety?
Yes, they do have trained EMTs on hand, ambulance personnel. There's flaggers at almost every corner or obstacle where it might be blind. The parents are very instrumental in making sure things are run correctly. And where she races, GFI in Paris, they're very safety-oriented. They want the kids to have a good time, and that's what it's all about.
Okay. Chris from Huntington Beach, you're our next caller on Orange County Sports Talk with Heather and Debbie Matthews. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask Debbie, what inspired Heather to get into riding?
Well,
you, right?
Yeah. Heather got into riding because she saw me racing. I've been racing since I was 15, and she liked what she saw, and it's a lot of fun. And so she decided, she used to beg me, please, please, please let me ride. And at the time, they didn't have any motorcycles small enough for her. So we had to wait. You know, she rode a four-wheeler, but once they made the bike small enough and they started having races, we got her signed up.
Okay, thank you very much for the call. Quickly, before we wrap up, Debbie, she does have a distinction, and Heather's the youngest rider with a corporate sponsor, right?
That is correct. She is sponsored by Nature's Recipe Pet Foods.
Okay.
And they are going to be helping out quite a lot.
Okay, Debbie, Heather, thank you very much. We wish you luck. You're a real cute girl. Don't get hurt. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Debbie and Heather Matthews, our guests, and also my thanks to Diana Miner, our guest earlier in the evening. That's going to do it for now. I'm Dave Feldman. We'll see you next time.